You've been waiting for the crack in Calgary's market. This might just be it. Sales dipped, new listings rose, inventory jumped, and we are sitting at just over 4 months of supply. Translation: more choice, longer days on market, and a little extra room to negotiate. Hey guys, I'm Jay Schultz, and today we're talking September market stats 2025 for the Calgary market. Let's check it out. Compared to last September, sales fell. They're down 14% to 1720. New listings rose to 3782, and inventory climbed to 9616, and months of supply hit 4.02. The city's benchmark is now 587, off about 4% year over year. That's our setup heading into fall. With the big numbers out of the way, we'll dive deeper into those later, but today we're going to talk quickly about the rate cut, because this is actually where buyers win in these three ways. First up, the obvious low-hanging fruit. It is cheaper monthly. Even a small trim in rates nudges your mortgage payment down. On a typical 25-year mortgage, a quarter point on $600,000 is roughly $90 a month. It's not fireworks, but it certainly helps in qualifying. If you're borrowing any money for your down payment or have any credit card debt as well, those pieces are going to be made cheaper with this rate cut as well. Number two, of course, it's easier to qualify. The lower rates don't just change your payments, they help with approval room, because lenders stress test based on a buffered rate. A small drop could maybe add that 2 or 3% to your purchase price. That townhouse you kept missing out on, it's now within reach. And of course, number three is more pricing leverage. They tie in, and of course, here is the big one. Rates are down while months of supply is increased to over 4 months, which equals more choice and longer days on market. The translation here is more credits for the buyer based on older mechanicals in the home, flexible possessions, or even a price trim with no competition or bidding wars for the home you're looking at. While it's generally frowned upon to come after the seller for things that the inspection reveals, you should be able to tell if the appliances are old, the furnace, the hot water tank. Negotiate those up front. The inspection should be used for deferred maintenance, things that are safety issues or things you just didn't know about. As a buyer, you might be asking, where do I have leverage in this market? Well, the detached, while they're just down a minor amount year over year, they're trending towards balance at 3.7 months of supply. Benchmark just under 750,000, down that 1% we talked about earlier. The good products still move, backing onto a green space. Of course, if you have a view, that's worth a ton of money, but your leverage varies by district. Northwest, strong. Northeast, you have way more leverage. Apartments, we've talked about condos in the past, not a great market, worst in the Northeast here. Their months of supply is at 5, with a benchmark of just over 322,000, down 6% year over year. Lots of downward pressure in this market. Buyers can be picky. Buyers have lots of options. Buyers are looking for a deal. Buyers are going to get a deal in this condo segment in Calgary. Row houses starting to balance out as well with a 3.6 months of supply. 437 is the benchmark price. That's down 6% year over year. Decreasing prices, increasing inventory. It's balanced-ish with downward pressure on pricing. Semi-Detached, still holding strong. One of the best segments here in Calgary for sure. 3.96 months of supply, indicating that it's more into a balanced segment. 685 is the benchmark price, which surprisingly in this market is up 1% year over year. They're holding the best, but the general atmosphere of the Calgary market, there's downward pressure on everything. There's pressure to sell. Sellers are going to negotiate. Get the home that works for you, get a good price. And make sure you like your terms. If you're looking to buy or sell in the Calgary market, reach out today. I'd love to help you. This is a journey. This is a journey that I specialize in helping people with. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So if you're a buyer in this Calgary market here in the fall of 2025, there's 3 traps that you want to avoid. The endless tour. Just because there is a ton more inventory out there in the market doesn't mean you need to see all the homes that exist. I won't let you do it. It's a waste of your time and a waste of my time.
All right, I'll do it. But just because you're a friend.
So I'll certainly encourage you as we're preparing for finding your next home. 5 must-haves, 3 nice-to-haves. Create a 3 to 4 home shortlist. The work is done before showing the homes, making sure it doesn't back onto a busy road, making sure the lot is big enough, making sure there's no deal breakers prior to seeing the home. We'll catch most of them for sure, but if it's not listed that it's smoked in, we just won't know until we show up. So if a property's only been listed for a couple of weeks, you should be writing an offer within the first couple days. Of course, if it's just listed, you're going to want to write an offer right away. The good ones sell. And of course, if we're looking at homes and we have budgetary constraints, we can look at properties that have been listed for over 45 days. These homes should certainly be thinking about a price drop. We can build that into our offer. There's deals to be had on these properties that have been listed for a month and a half because they haven't sold yet. If something's wrong with it, maybe it's the price. The goal is to make that work in your advantage. Next up for the buyers is anchoring too low. You can't lowball in any market because it upsets the sellers. And negotiations become really hard after that. It's only a lowball if the market data doesn't support that price. You might be low on your offer, but you certainly need to have the data to back it up. Another trap that buyers fall into too is waiting for mortgage rates to drop, whether it's the Bank of Canada or the bond rates and the fixed rates. Having that tunnel vision can cost you thousands of dollars down the road. If there's a home you like, if there's a home you can afford, buy that home. The savings that you'll have on the mortgage dropping down the road versus the opportunity cost and the buyer's remorse of missing out on a home, it's not worth it. Saving $90 a month versus getting into your dream home, waiting for interest rates to drop under 4.5%, it's not worth it. Refi later if that's something that you have to do to make it worth your while or feel that your rate is too high, but buy now while the selection is good. If rates drop later, just refi. Refi to stack on the good pricing that you got from a high inventory atmosphere that we're in right now in Calgary. Of course, looking at Calgary, we have to look at the smaller segments, the quadrants, northwest, northeast, southeast, and southwest. Within each of these, of course, is the home styles. Detached homes. West is the tightest. Just under 3 months for months of supply. You need to push the terms when you're offering, not just the price. Northeast is looser for sure. 4.42 months of supply, meaning the buyers have more choice, trending more towards a buyer's market. You can certainly push for pricing more in the Northeast as that quadrant's having trouble selling, detached included. The Northwest is at about 4.0 for months of supply. Lots of good options to pick from. Just make sure you don't pick a busy street. Make sure you don't pick a home right across from a school. They're hard to sell, trust me. And of course, apartments. Apartments in the Northeast are in big trouble. They continue to have downward pressure. Inventory is increasing daily. Months of supply, 8.05. That's a huge number. Buyer's market for sure. The only segment of apartments in the city that's pretty balanced is the Southeast. At 3.22 months of supply, you're gonna get deals outside of the Southeast, but you might capture that one seller in the Southeast with huge days on market. Look for a pricing discount there. And of course, quickly, we always wanna get into the regional pulse. How are the bedroom communities doing? Okotoks, Cochrane, and Airdrie. Airdrie, months of supply, 4.29. Prices are easing. There's negotiating space oncoming for sure. Cochrane, months of supply is over 5. After record new listings in the area, there's more options, more price pressure is building. Okotoks still tighter at that 2.25 months of supply. Borderline seller's market there. Less price leverage, of course, because it's a seller's market. So focus on the terms. Negotiate the good terms that you want because you can't get the price because the seller has lots of buyers coming for them. There you go, guys. There's the Calgary market stats in a nutshell. We'll break down some of the other segments in a future video for sure. Summary, if the inventory stays elevated here in the city, you can certainly expect steady to softer pricing in oversaturated markets. Condos for sure. And of course, stickier pricing on A-tier detached. So there you go. Reach out today. I'd be happy to help you track the months of supply in the quadrant that you're thinking of being in. The days on market are so important. Pricing is so important. I'm here to help. Whether you're buying or selling in the Calgary market, I'm here to help. Watch this video next. Catch you guys on the next one.